Yo, so we got Gman with us for the fourth episode of Living Intentionally, and I can't have a better guest because this dude literally is outside of the gym right now doing this
What
episode.
up?
He came out of the gym to get this episode going. So, G-Man, thank you so much for hopping on with us. I appreciate the hell out of you for stopping mid set to get outside. So, talk about it with me, man. Like, how do you live intentionally daily?
Man, it's a struggle. Let's be honest and let's start off the right. This is living intentional and your values and what you believe in and what you want to accomplish. It's nothing easy. It's not an easy task, right? Especially for us, and for us, when I mean us that have been in the military for as long as I've been in, and now with these outside entities, that is the social platforms and everything that's
Mm,
going on around us as far as things that we should be doing or we should not be doing. We lose sight of what's important to you as a man, as an individual, as a trainer. When it comes to the Marine Corps, taking care of my people, taking care of my Marines, and showing that I'm just overall taking care of people around me. It's not easy, man. So living intentional is something that requires day to day work, day to day
mm.
work, and it's been something that I'm steady working on. And I have the support system. Right? I got people like you to come up with things like this that allow us to express ourselves. I have the
Mhm,
team that I'm a part of that allows me to be who I am, to influence and impact what they got going on. I
mm,
have friends around me that hold me accountable. They're George Anthony's of
mm.
the world and things like that that keep me honest. Have other individuals that are willing to check you from time to time when you slipping a little bit, right? Because we're not perfect. This is not an easy life.
Yeah, and
So
I'm glad that you bring that up because it is hard, but it's important to have those people in our lives and in our corner that kind of like remind us, like, yo, I'm gonna hold you accountable, and it's good because. So let me ask you this, top, what what does living intentionally mean to you? Like when you think about those two words and you break them down, like what does that mean to you, and how do you ensure that you do that, like because like you said it's a daily thing, so what does it mean to you and how do we do it daily?
that's as one is being present. Being
Mm,
present to the current moment. For instance, I just drove down to the beach. Had a today was an interesting day for a lot of people who were the selection board was released for the active reserve component, and there was some
mm,
happy faces, some sad faces, and people that's lives about to change, right, for the good, for the better, or they need to do some more work to get to where they need to get to. So living intentional is every day trying to make an effort to make improvement. I for myself or those around me, and then again, it's not an easy task because we have this outside influence that is the world, and we can never forget that the Marine Corps for me right now has been my bread and butter, so being able to support the team in any way that I can allows me to be in the present moment, right? I can't control what's going to happen
yeah.
tomorrow. I can't control what's going to happen. What happened yesterday. I can only control where we are in the moment and
Hmm.
how I can continue to progress, right? Coming to the gym, that's been something that I've been trying to myself get back to, right? For years, this is my life. I'm
Hmm.
here in front of the boxing club. I actually do part-time classes here, but I also come here alone, away from everybody that I know, to hold myself accountable because I did hit a plateau.
Mm,
I did hit some turbulence. Uh, Reason being is due to the up tempo and the
mm,
business that we're in. It does hit
yeah.
you. I've been training my whole life. In 20 some years in the Marine Corps, I've been training every single day. And you hit a wall. And
Mm,
right now, I'm trying to get back to being intentional about my health and my physical
mm,
fitness and
yeah.
my appearance. Because at the end of the day, man, my station commanders and those around me, those are the ones that where the rubber meets the road. Well, how can I hold my people accountable and I myself are not living up
Mm,
to the standard?
amen.
If
Amen.
I myself, I'm not being present to where I'm falling short. And that's how you live intentional understanding and recognizing my shortfalls. And I think that's something that I am working on. And
Yeah.
it has to be done individually.
Yeah.
Yes, we can have support. Yes, the guys are going to tell you. However, when you look in the mirror, when I go home at night, or when I walk into the boxing club, I'm going to put in 100% effort into what I'm trying to accomplish. And
Yeah.
sometimes we as individuals forget how much we've accomplished because
Mm.
we don't want to hurt other people's feelings, or we don't want to, we don't want to highlight the good things that we've done ourselves, worried about what others may say through these social platforms and outside entities. When in reality, man, at the end of the day, we working hard to get to where we're at. That's it. For instance, today I posted on social media. Everybody that I'm around lately, and it says everybody, is successful in their own regard.
Mm.
Everybody's doing something that's good.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing something that's taking them in the right direction. And whether it be my buddy Nick, who's taking over the DJ scene in San Diego, you already know about George Anthony, you know about the
Yeah.
Minjays, you know about my buddy Sonny, other people that are around me that are doing great. My buddy Tiny, who's doing
Mm.
great. It's just that's what's helping me realize that, man, I'm surrounded by good people
Amen.
that are doing good, and we're not worried about what anybody else has to say about the situations. It's just
Yeah.
I use that to bring that to the table with the team and people that I'm surrounded by, and how can I contribute
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
that environment, if that makes sense.
No, and it does, and I think what I love about having you on, and it's like the third or fourth time we gotten together. I think what I love about it is that every time I talk to you, all I hear come out of your mouth is the team. And you're always looking at yourself, how can I make my team better? It's not about you. You're a very selfless person, and I love having people like you on because it's awesome to see a master sergeant who's been in the Marine Corps 20 years still pushing, but he's still looking at himself inwardly saying, I got to get better. And it's about my team, and it's about this, and in the business that we're in, the Marine Corps and the military, a lot of times when it gets to that master and that master guns, we kind of lose that, and we lose those good leaders. So it's amazing to have you on, and to see you constantly talking about, hey, you know what, even I fall short, because as junior Marines or as junior staff NCOs, we don't think that, like, when we start falling short, we think that we're the only ones falling short. But then when we have men like you come on and talk about that and say, hey, listen, you know what, I failed today, or I messed up, or I didn't do as good as I wanted to, it's a very empowering thing to know that, hey, you know what, even that guy who's been in 20 years is still sharpening his sword. Even that guy who's been in for as long as he is still trying to be better every day, and not only for himself but for his team. And because your team can't live if you're not there with them, teaching them, molding them, guiding them. And like you said yourself, you can't hold your team accountable if you're not looking the right way, and if you're not acting the right way, and if you're not teaching the right way. So that's what I love about it, is just the way that you act, and the way that you're constantly holding yourself accountable. Instead of focusing on everybody around you, you focus inwardly. And like you said, it's about having that circle of people around you that they're doing well, so you want to continue to do well, and it breeds competition, and it breeds better leadership, and it breeds better people, and it breeds better men. And it's awesome to see you living intentionally, surrounded by other people that are living intentionally.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's when you're in a circle where people willing to share the knowledge and bring you up and pull you up, it's gonna only make you more successful, right? People
Yeah.
talk about, oh, your name is spoken in rooms that you never entered and this and that. A lot of people say that, not a lot of people do it. And then when you have people that are willing to do that without fear, because I think a lot of days nowadays people live in fear of someone overstepping them, or someone overcoming
Mm.
their success, right? And that's what I said earlier. I'm not worried about nobody else. I'm happy that we all can contribute, right? Because I'm also big on networking, right? Networking is very important to me, because the network that you build around you in the future will come back, right? And
Yeah.
I I don't live in fear, man. I just who I am that I am. That means I walk in the man above, but I'm also the me, whether I'm on the social platform or when I'm in person. You're gonna get the high energy, intensity. You're gonna get the volume, and you're gonna also get someone that speaks from the heart. And I
Yeah.
can't speak. I didn't get to where I'm at by myself, right? Especially in recruiting duty,
Yeah.
especially in the business of sales. Like, I rely on the men and women below that are doing the fight. All I do is walk the left and right lateral limits and provide guidance. I don't do
Mm.
anything, and I try to foster that winning mentality and that unity and that camaraderie amongst the team. In any team that I'm in, it could be in the military, outside in the fitness world, or just talking to friends. Nobody can tell you that. I don't. I guess that I don't hold the line for
Mm.
myself, right? That I don't hold the line for myself, so that others, like the awareness, for others to emulate. I want others to
Yeah.
be better than me, so I can retire knowing that I gave everybody the best of me, and I was able to get the best out of them.
Yeah. Because you can expect the best out of them because you gave them the best out of you.
100%, yeah, because it's easy in the duty that we're living. That's what we're the struggles that we're having as far as sales and training and things like that. I think it starts with us at the higher
Mm.
echelons where if we're not living what we're preaching, and we're not walking the lines, and we're not holding the physical standard, and
Mm.
if we're not allowing individuals to see who we truly are in and out of the environment, then how can they trust to follow you? I tell you, you heard me say this before, and I relate our business to combat, and I've been
Yeah.
in combat, right? We got to produce every day. So how do I expect individuals to want to go to war with me when I myself am not able to carry the torch? You know.
Wow. Yeah.
So and it's like that on the civilian side, and that's when the civilian sector lacks. Like a lot of us don't. It's rare when you find that when you can
Hmm.
relate to people in that level because we're unique in the sense that we're in the military, right? And one thing I never took for granted, I never will take for granted, is that I am where I'm at today because the individuals who paved the way before me and who wanted to follow me,
Yeah.
based on my personality, I guess, and my ability to assist the team.
I can tell you this much. I've never been in a room with you, but I've been on the phone with you and I've spoken to you virtually. And just these conversations, I'm like, bro, I would go to war with that man. So I can only imagine how it would feel being mentored by you, going to the gym with you, learning from you,
Well,
being a part of Mastani. Like I can imagine how it would feel working alongside you
it
because
depends.
your energy flows through. And but at the same time, I get it. I might just be like, oh my god, I'm dying right now.
Nah, it depends on who you ask, man, right? Because the perception of me at times is that because I am from I'm from Puerto Rican, I'm from the Bronx. I
Yeah.
was born in the island, raised in the Bronx. I'm high energy. People perceive my energy as just party, party, party. I party just as hard as I train, and just as hard as I
Yeah.
train my people. It's just as hard as I work. I don't have a I don't have a low in the volume. It's everything I do. I have this addictive personality where everything I do is 100%. And I guess God wants me to be this way because I just don't know when to stop.
Mm.
And however, to live intentional, like I said a little
Mm.
bit ago, when it comes to the fitness, right, and the training, I did hit a plateau, and I wasn't training as hard, and I was using my my some silly situations as far as being away from family, being alone. I let that get to me, and it's more not allowing me to be wasn't allowing me to be present for the team and be the best that I
Mm.
can be. So it's taking some work. It's taking myself to hold myself accountable because, like I said, I have those individuals that sometimes check me. But if I'm not willing to do the work myself, then it
So
doesn't
what
matter what anybody says.
what was it that made you realize that you would hit this plateau and that you weren't doing what you needed to do? Because you say it all the time, don't want to do it, gotta do it. So what was it that kind of made you realize like, oh crap, I'm not where I need to be, or I'm not holding myself accountable like I was? Like what was it that made that you come to this realization?
It's everything around me, everything on my performance level, right? My performance wasn't as high as where it needs to be. Not necessarily when it comes to the team, because I'm one thing I never compromise is the energy I give my team and the team that I'm a part of when it comes to the recruiting world. Because right now, everybody's in a hurt locker, right? I could talk about
Mm-hmm.
my team being great, but we've gotten mission increases here lately. More is expected out of the team, so I've given them that. But just myself personally, how I look, how I looked in the mirror. People say I look a certain way, but I know where I should be. Where I was 2 years ago, now where I was a year ago. And talking to individuals and just listening and reading books. I've been listening to a few different books here and there, so how to, the mind, working on the mind and controlling that inner voice, because I have demons. I have good ones and bad ones. I have my buddies, who, everybody's in there here talking 24/7, and that's something that I've been able to control, and just getting back to some of the little basic habits of getting up early, forcing myself to get up at 05. You know, between you and I, it's the first time I'm saying I've been diving in the pool after cardio every morning for the last couple of weeks, in an outdoor pool. And fortunately enough, is I guess is the what I'm trying to say. It's been warm when I expected it to be hot, but I expected it to be cold, but it was hot. Like I was like, oh man, but just the mind of just diving into the pool, uh, it was warm, but just getting in there, getting the swim, getting the body going, just that morning routine and leaving my house, intentionally getting out of
Mm.
bed and just getting out of the house and going downstairs and just doing the cardio and to go jumping in the pool, having my eggs ready in the morning. Because remember, when I used to compete, when I used to be in Mastani, that was the battle rhythm, right? We talk about recruiting and establish a battle rhythm. Sometimes we tell recruiters this: the reason why you have a system is because if all else fails and you start to struggle, you know how to hit that reset button, right? That systematic recruiting that we talk about. And I had to be real with myself. I hit the reset button, and we go through some personal things, relationships and things that sometimes take a toll on you. And you try to mask it with other individuals and just be around other people when in reality is just take a step back, be alone, and that way I can receive and be coachable by
Mm.
those around me, right? That makes
I
sense.
love that no, it makes complete sense. And I love that you say that because a lot of the issue with people that aren't living intentionally, it's because we're not coachable and we're not allowing ourselves to have those coachable moments. And I'll be real, like this, and that's why I started doing this segment was because I was getting to my part of life where I stopped living intentionally. And like talking to you right now, it makes me realize, you know what, man, I'm getting up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Some days I'm getting up at 10:30. Like I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. Like I was. So now talking to you about what you're talking about, now I'm like, you know what, man? I got to get up. I got to have my breakfast ready. I got to start living intentionally. I got to start getting that battle rhythm going because if I don't, then I can return back to those roots and just go back to the basics. And that's what I love about talking to someone like you or other people is just returning to the basics and knowing like, hey, listen, we all fall short, we all have issues, but we can get back and we can return and we can fix
Yeah.
things before it gets worse.
And that's what when you speak of living intentional, you can start every day, right? You can restart the clock over and over again. It doesn't matter
Mm,
what anybody else thinks. It's what you want to do with the situation. I was watching the movie The Founder for like the fifth time the other day, and you always pick someone up from that movie. That's the movie about McDonald's, right? Where Croc and the
yeah.
McDonald brothers. And the dude was 52 years old, man, when he was able to work his way into. Some may say he screwed the brothers over, whatever the case may be, but he was living in passion. He knew what he wanted, and he pursued a dream. But he was 52 years old when he started, right? And he never gave up in his own, uh, I guess, dream of what he wanted to accomplish. And he was living it. He was living in the moment. He was going after what he wanted. And for us, the same thing. We could start fresh, man, every single day. There's no clock to when we got to start. I
Mm,
posted on social media this morning. Don't want to do it, gotta do it, right? Yeah, sometimes I think about it. Don't want to do it, gotta do it. And we said it earlier. We get to do this. We get to get up and go after it. We get to do. We live. You know, day to day in reality. We focus so much on the things that we can control, and we have to just focus on one step at a time, moving forward. And that's how I talk to the
yeah.
team. That's how I received the message. Like I said, nothing I've done, nothing I've been able to do myself has been alone. It's been with the support of others. And I never try to take credit for anything. I wouldn't be where I'm at and pushing myself to where I'm at mentally and physically in this phase right now in my life because, like I said, I hit a plateau, bouncing back. And
Yeah.
that it just requires uh, self awareness. And like
Yeah.
David Goggins, he talks about David Goggins. He's really out here right now. And I like David Goggins definitely is now on my top five as people who I'm listening to more often because I like the way he made a switch from individuality to speaking about the people around him and how has help and support in his system. And yeah, he understands the team effort, team concept, and he himself speaks about he has some issues not being a team player, and now he's come around and he has a support system, and I can respect that because now that's more of my lane as far as being able to. Yes,
Mm,
I'm an individual, but I thrive of being around a team concept,
yeah.
and I think that's the most important thing.
It is. It is. It's very important because it's, if you're not on the same mission and you don't have people who share in the same mission and you don't have people that share in the same goal, then it's easy to fall short, and it's easy for you to fall into the monotony of life, and for you to realize it's easy for you to go months and days
Yeah, we're in a
without
hamster wheel,
realizing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah,
and
we're in a
you
hamster
and you
wheel.
just and you just forget that, like, wait a minute, I'm doing this thing called life, and instead of you doing life, life is doing you. And but if you're on a team and you have the same goal in mind and you have people that are willing to fight for the same goal, then it's easier for you to get reminded of, like, hey, what are we doing this for? What is the bigger picture here? Now, that's whether it's the Marine Corps, that's whether it's with your family, that no matter what it is, you have to have people around you that are going to support you and help you grow and be able to coach, counsel, and mentor you.
Yeah, correct. And being in this environment that I'm in, right, the world of recruiting, right, I do have a team that looks up, to me for certain things, and I have the team that I look down, that I look across, and then I see the younger individuals below that are doing the hard work. I look at them for guidance as well because they have different perspective, different ideas. They have their own struggles, and having those conversations with them allows me to remind myself that it's not about me. I
Mm,
have people that rely on me for. I have people that depend on proper guidance. My boss, my CEO, he requires some guidance as well. So everybody, we the good thing I've been blessed with is the ability to be around those individuals that like want to follow and that want to be coached
yeah,
and that allow me to coach, and I learn from them, they learn from us. And that's just not even military one too, but civilian side as well. Because I have conversations with individuals that allow me to kind of see things from a different perspective, and keep me
yeah.
present to what needs to be done and how we can get better every day and improve. Because, man, if we ain't trying to improve every day, then what we trying to do?
yo, yo, I couldn't think of a better way to cap this up, man. I appreciate everything, because like that, everything that we're talking about is about that. Is about, if we're not trying to improve, then what are we doing? And that's the reality, as as fathers, as men, as Marines. Like, what are we doing? And if we're not adding to ourselves, to our families, to the kingdom, then, and we're not improving, then what the heck are we doing here? And why do we have today? Why did God give us today if today we're not going to be better than we were yesterday?
Correct. And it's not gonna happen overnight, right? Like,
Mm,
especially with it's not gonna happen. The issues that we come across is these platforms that we have, which are great, are also tearing us down, right? Because at the end of the day, we can't be reliant, we can't worry about what that person to the left or to the right is doing. you know, it's us, men, women, whether it be your house, whether it be your fitness, whether it be your professional life, and whatever it is, stop. We can't look left and right, man. Focus on you. And if you're part of a team, then focus on how you can help one to your left and to your right. And that's going to continue to carry you forward, And always leave the rope behind so you can pull people with you, and you're going to be all right. And however long it takes, just keep doing it. Don't
amen.
want to do it, got to do it. That's it, brother.
Hey, that's it. All right. Well, hey, go enjoy the gym. Again, I appreciate the hell out of you for leaving the gym to do this. So I
Nah,
appreciate
nah,
you,
we're
Top.
good.
Have a good rest of the night. I'll talk to you soon.